All right, guys, we're here. We're back for the Pit Chatter podcast.
Take two.
Take two. Oh, God. You know, that we're getting, used to saying that for some reason here. Mostly me. Speaking of me, I'm Langley Austin. I'm the track promoter here at Franklin County Speedway and the host of this show. We're coming to you live from the Hex Haunted Attraction Tower above the start-finish line here, which is where all the announcing and scoring, well, the announcing, we don't know where it gets done anymore, but the scoring gets done up here in race directing and all those good things. The voice you heard a moment ago, that, of course, is the not new co-host, the just co-host, since that's what he wants me to call him, whatever, Noah Hinchee. Noah, glad to have you back for another week here. I didn't know if you were going to make it.
Yeah, I was stuck in Kroger. Me and George was getting some groceries, but I hightailed it here. Yeah. Couldn't miss out on the one we've been waiting on.
Got priorities set in the wrong direction here apparently, because we're here to have a podcast. We ain't supposed to be getting groceries.
Well, I can't help it. Fat boy got to eat.
I mean, I understand.
He's got to go get groceries like he races.
Wow. And that voice is this week's guest. It is Wes Givens, 2023 Stock 4, Stock 6, and IndyCar champion, 2022
Bootlegger,
and IndyCar champion. Oh. Hopefully he doesn't win another championship in 2024. That's the goal here for the racetrack anyways.
I can't make any promises there.
He was just talking about trying to win a championship just a few minutes ago during the, I wouldn't call that the pre-show. Noah wasn't here yet, but
while we were waiting on Noah, while he was getting groceries,
while we had
talking,
to wait on him to go to Kroger. So
Langley was saying how we might be getting some merchandise this year, maybe for championships. So I might have to try.
That's right. Well, Noah, it's been a week. We didn't get to race. I know you were bummed out about that. I don't know if you got your outfit in or whatever, but
it didn't come in, so it was actually kind of, a good thing, at least for me.
So would you have been wearing your birthday suit, or if your outfit didn't come in?
No, I would have been wearing just my boxers with a hole cut out in a very precise spot.
Okay, that'd have been nice.
Yeah, the fat roll goes over it, so you can't see that.
Yeah, I could see. You probably have to lift that up, but
Lord. Y'all thought last week's episode was good. Jesus.
I was talking about the thigh, Langley. What are you talking about?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I knew what you were talking about.
Fat roll goes down that far. We got problems, okay?
Look, it's that muffin top, man. I can't do nothing about it.
Jesus Christ. Anyways, the Pepsi Kids Gold Rush did not happen this past weekend. We're hoping for it to happen this Sunday, but I got bad news. That weather forecast looks terrible. I'm hoping it changes. It has not improved, but...
Is it supposed to rain? I haven't even looked.
Oh, yeah, 94%.
Sunday's terrible.
Yeah.
Well, but Saturday don't look bad.
Yeah, Wes goes, why don't you just race Saturday? Well, Bowman Gray races Saturday, which is killer on our crowd, their opener and their finale. And then South Boston races Saturday during the day. The Cars Tour's nearby at Orange County. Just really not a good day.
I don't know how they could race there. But.
And that's why, I didn't have, a race scheduled for Saturday or this weekend period. And I guess Mother Nature is going to make sure that doesn't happen. But, hey, we got plenty of time to change. It's only Tuesday evening. Could change between now and Sunday.
The weather forecast for here suck. Because it could be – I've been on the way to the racetrack on Saturday. It's pouring down rain on 581.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you get to Callaway Road, it's like sunny, birds are chirping.
I tell people, this story sometimes when I'm talking. Last year I took off on my golf cart to go down to the store, which A&A Market, one of our sponsors, right down at the bottom of the hill. You take a right and go down there. So I took off down there to get ice, I think, and I went down there. And as I got to the bottom of the road, it was raining. It was wet. It could be down there and raining. I was like, well, I guess that'll make it to the track here in a minute. I went to the store. It was still, drizzling. Come back out, come back up, got back on our road, and there was nothing.
Yeah.
It just didn't rain. And that happens to us all the time here, and that's why I try not to jump, in forecast. I try not to jump too fast when it's
like
raining.
Last week?
Thunderstorms. No, last week, man. Listen, I was regretting last week's decision about 3 o'clock. I walked out on my porch, and I was like, boy, I made a dumb decision this week. And then about that time, the wind picked up and blew part of my wife's swing across the porch at me. And I was like, you know what? I'm okay with this. It's good. I mean, the wind tore down, our signs.
I was wondering where they all went.
Well, these got cut down because they were getting ready to come down on the front straightaway. Plus, we're going to do a little bit of work here and make Victory Lane look a little bit better.
Looks like the Kings hauling and excavating.
Yeah, the Kings hauling sign made it. It was the only one that wasn't blowing when the wind blew. It wasn't coming in and out. I was like, well, it'll be all right, and it did. It made it good. I guess that thing must be made of something. I don't know where it was made or who made it, but whoever did, they did a good job with that thing. But I'm glad we didn't race last week. No, after Noah told that story a minute ago, I'm double glad that we didn't race last week.
Well, that's on you. I'm sure there's at least 3 people that would like to see that.
I can't name them.
Yeah, I ain't going to name them, but I'm just saying there was at least 3 of them.
You don't want to out yourself here.
No, not at all.
Wow. Anyways, anything of note during the last week we need to talk about?
We didn't race.
I know we
What's
didn't
of
race.
note?
Listen, racing.
I'm still on edge about this whole Keyshawn and Josh thing. I can't wait to see how this bulls over.
Yeah, we can talk about that for sure because last week's podcast was rather interesting with Keyshawn.
It was.
Any feedback from the podcast? I know you talk to people that listen.
Yeah, not really. No, not anything of note.
Not that you want to share.
They're bad critics.
But well, yeah, that's why I figured
they just give you. They don't give you constructive criticism. They're just like it's good or that sucked. There's no in between.
Was it? Did it suck or was
it was mostly good?
Oh, okay. Well, listen, that's a win right there.
My very Christian grandmother probably wouldn't have enjoyed it, but
listen,
she can't hear. She can't hear it, so we're good.
I listened back to it, and there was a lot more cuss words than I heard while sitting here. So
100%. I listened to it, and I was like, oh, my gosh. I thought this was supposed to be PG-13.
I mean, I went ahead and put the explicit warning on that one. So
yeah, you needed it.
We got a little wild.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting. Any conversation with Keyshawn's interesting.
100%.
Usually not ones that can be recorded. So, all right, Wes. 2024. We're off to a good start for the racetrack from you not winning all the races except for Tech, helping.
Yeah, Tech helped me out, and but I mean, you got to take in consideration I was running with a blown up motor and still keeping up. So,
yeah,
I got the motor fixed, and she's going to be pretty fast. I think I have the car to beat. To be honest with you, if it holds together and. I got a few adjustments I need to make to it to try to make it handle a little better, but for what the car was last week and what I had, I think I was doing pretty well.
That is not what the competition wants to hear, that you got another motor and that it was...
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you, man, I lucked out, so I went to Richmond to do some glasses, selling some Eclipse glasses and stuff, and, we went to Texas first, and then that didn't work out, and then we went to Bristol, then Pigeon Forge, and then we ended up back in Richmond. I'd say probably about 50, 60 hours worth of driving. But we made it to Richmond, and my buddy had a Cavalier that I've been trying to buy off of him for a while, and he wanted $1,500 for the Cavalier, and I was like, I'm not paying that. Even though it's worth it because the car runs, it drives. All it needs is a brakes fixed, and that was literally it. Other than that, everything on the car was good. Well, we went up there to talk to him about it. I was going to try to get it for like $1,200, and I walked into his tow lot, and there was this yellow Cavalier that looks like it's been put through a crusher. Yep. The roof had a kink in it. I mean, it was folded up. But we started it up, and I told somebody to look at the miles, and he said 30,000. I said, man, ain't no way. You got to hit the trip meter. That's got to be the trip. He's like, no, that's the miles. So motor I got in my car now has about 33,000 miles on it, original. So it's a good motor for sure.
Well, you're the only one excited about that.
Oh, I'm 100% excited about it.
I mean, I clocked those laps that you took a few minutes ago, and I'm not excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, the way the car was running, it was running real good. I'm glad I finally got to get some laps in it. Not many, but it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, and your stooges over there trying to get me to go tell everybody it was slow. They were like, oh, he's 18.5. Yeah, okay. I got eyes. I saw that.
Hey, the thing was
hey,
like
look,
17,
y'all look out the window and look down.
Blowing up, so.
there's Keyshawn Clater standing there,
my
middle
gosh.
fingers blaring.
I'm glad he's outside.
Somebody locked the door.
I got enough of Keyshawn last week and today. He just randomly shows up here for some
Man, he just wanted to be on the pit chatter pod or whatever y'all call this thing.
Pit Chatter podcast.
That's
Chatter
just straight
podcast.
up disrespectful.
Yeah,
I mean, you know,
I mean, you
I'm
get
not-
invited on. You couldn't even tell what the sponsor's name was, and then
Kings,
you
I
don't
just
even
didn't
know the
if
name
it
of the
said Towing and
podcast.
Recovery, or I couldn't tell. I mean,
Disrespectful.
I'm going blind to my older age, dude.
Disrespectful.
In fairness, I couldn't read it from here, even though I know what it says. So,
I mean,
guess
at least I
that's-
got at least I did better than Keyshawn last week. I need to shout out his sponsor for him. Yoder's Custom Meat Processing. I'm going to go ahead and do Keyshawn a favor and go ahead and shout his sponsor out
Hey,
for him
I'm
since
shouting
he
them out too.
forgot.
Lauren's hooking me up with the brisket, so I got to shout them
Lauren's
out.
giving you the meat, huh?
He's giving him the meat.
Getting some of that Yoder meat.
There goes the rated R.
You gotta love you, Lauren, even though Keyshawn didn't love him enough to talk.
That's
about
what I
him
said.
last week.
He didn't, but I'm gonna help him out.
Yeah, well,
try to shout out a sponsor for him.
It's good for you to help your brother out. After he's helped you many times in the past, as we
Man.
talked about on that last episode.
Yeah, I heard that. I mean, I will admit to going out there to telling him to go out there and slow him down, but still to this day, I hold my word. I never told him to wreck him. I just told him to slow him up.
He didn't understand how.
Yeah, he
to slow
didn't.
him.
Keyshawn, he's a lot of people don't get along with Keyshawn, and I think me and Keyshawn have an understanding with each other that a lot of people don't understand with Keyshawn. Keyshawn's a different breed of person.
Well, yeah. There's a lot that could have been said there, but
Well, I mean, I'm with you there.
yeah, I would like to share with you the conversation that me and Keyshawn had earlier when he called me, but I can't. So
Uh-oh.
it was not rated for this podcast. I can tell you that right now.
Okay.
So, anyways, take us. A lot of people know what you've done here.
Yep.
Everybody knows you wrecked John Morton. You wrecked Chris Meeks. Everybody knows all
Hey,
this,
that's all right.
I mean, it's, we've got that down.
Yep.
Okay? So, but most people don't know where you come from, how you got started in racing. So take us back to the beginning.
When I was 8 years old, my dad started racing dirt down at Virginia Motor Speedway. It used to be called
was a racer, right?
Yes. Yep. It used to be called Mid-Bay Raceway. Then they moved it to Saluda Raceway, and then it was Virginia Motor Speedway after Bill Sawyer bought it.
Yeah, the Sawyer fan.
So I raced there I started, my first race was in 2005. I ran 4 races because if you ran 5, you're not qualified for Rookie of the Year the next year.
Okay.
So I ran 4 races that year, throughout the year. And
That's a
then
good
2006 was my first year in street stock, basically now is what they're called.
Yeah.
It used to be called Chargers or whatever, but that was my first year, and I finished 3rd in points my first year and got Rookie of the Year. And that's with stout competition. That's not, Noah Hinchee's competition. That's real
wow.
stout competition.
This no curse word thing is about to go out the window quick.
I mean, you can hold your tongue over here.
So, my first year I got 3rd in points. My second year I got 2nd in points. 3rd year I got 2nd in points. 4th year I got 2nd in points. And 5th year I finally won it.
Well, I mean, that's a long time to finish second.
Yeah, it was. And it just stupid stuff happening every year. My second year, I was leading the points on the last race, and the week before, somebody hit me in the left rear going into the corner, and my wheel started shaking from where it was a bent axle. And I told my dad, I was like, "Look, it'll be all right. If it falls off, it falls off. It's shaking, whatever." Well, he wasn't having it. He said, "No, you're gonna run my car. I'm not putting you out there with something that could break." So he ran my car. It ended up breaking on him. Tore up pretty good. I mean, I thought he was going over, but he saved it. But so I ran his car, and man, he had this steering wheel lock, and it wasn't the original, steering wheel lock where you just push it in or you pull it.
Yeah.
It was one of them ones where you had to pull to you, and then you had to lock it. Like it was like a pin that you had to slide up, push back, and lock.
Yeah.
Well, I slid it up, pushed it back, and last lap I was leading the points. I had to finish 5th. I was running 2nd, passing for the lead, going into turn 1, coming out of turn 2. I turned the wheel right, and the wheel fell off, and I hit the wall pretty much head on.
Wow.
So that was one championship, and then the second one got away from me from Wheel fell off. And man, it was just everything I could do to not win one until I finally got lucky.
Take us past those first 5 years, 6 years.
20. Well, I mean, I finished. I should have won more championships, but I won a lot of races in 2013, and I was going for the track championship. Was leading my points championship, and lost my cool like a couple people have seen me do. Everybody's seen me do throughout my career. Lost my cool. Somebody just kept on nagging at me, and I just drove off in the corner and never lifted. Drove us both in the wall. He gave it all up.
That's a fun video to watch if you can find it.
It is. That one was on. It's a pretty intense one. I mean, I got kicked out of Virginia Motor Speedway then, and then I stopped. I stopped racing for 3 years, I think. I built a car to go travel with. I fixed my car. I built it to go travel with, and then Dad's car he didn't fix it over the winter, and he was just done with it. So I told him, I was like, why don't you race? And he's like, I don't feel like working on it no more. So I told him, I was like, you're a lot older than me. I got plenty of time to race. You're getting kind of old. Why don't you just run my car, and I'll crew chief for you. And at first he won't having it, but then I finally got him to do it, and he ran my car for 3 years, and he did a heck of a job in it. Won 9 races 1 year. We didn't run a couple, so we didn't win the championship. And then the second year he ran it, he won 8 races, but we missed a few. So I took off racing for 3 years, I think it was, to just help him. No, probably more than that, 4 years. And then I finally started getting back into it, and just enduros and stuff like that. I didn't want to spend.
That's kind of how you ended up here.
Well, yeah, and then the money you got to spend to get in anything more than a stock 4 or a street stock or enduro, it's just, man, I don't even understand how people do it.
Well, I mean, let's talk about that a little bit. I mean, especially when you came here, I mean, we were having 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 to win, any car races and, enduro, whatever you want to call them. And, I mean, you probably didn't have, $1,000, $1,500 in your car?
Man, the first car I came down here with was that 3,000 to win, I think. That was, no. The weekend before, or 2 weekends before that race, I was like, I'm going to go down there because they're having a big race. So I bought a Cadillac DeVille down here. It was a big car. There was no business that thing even had being out here. But me and Chad McDowell were putting on a show, and I was in that big old boat. And I ended up blowing the tire off of it, and Chad ended up winning it. But that was the start of me racing down here. And then the second time I came back was for the 3,000 win enduro. And we bought 3 cars. It was me, my buddy Tyler Davis, and Dylan Lovin that all came. And what was that thing, like 100 laps, I think it was?
Something, yeah.
Started dead last, I think. Started way in the back. Worked my way to the front. Tyler was leading it, and then the transmission went out in it. So he was still out there. And come down to 2 to go, and, man, I was in a Volvo S40 4-cylinder. That thing had like 120 horsepower, 110 horsepower. That thing was slow. That thing was a turd. Well, the last lap, I was coming up on Tyler, and we had this plan with, if either one of us were leading and we needed help, we were to slow down and help each other. If it was the last lap, $3,000's $3,000. So I was coming out of turn 2, and I saw Tyler in front of the leader, and man, he went high like he was going to stay high and let him go, and then dove right in front of the leader. The leader checked up, and those two got to beating and banging, and I finally got beside him, and we went down into 1 side by side, beating and banging. We went down into turn 3, and he turned right on me. I was sitting there watching him. He's turning right, trying to push me up the racetrack. Well, finally, I just got tired of it and lifted and clipped him in the right rear and spun him into the wall, and that was for the win. So,
yeah, I mean, that was the first time I ever got cussed for you for something you did.
Yeah. I mean, but it's an enduro. I mean, that's what the excitement is for those races. A lot of people got to realize that. All these people that talk about like goes back to Hearts. I understand you got wrecked, but it's an enduro. You should be expecting that. Every time I get into an enduro car or in an enduro race, I expect to be wrecked. I expect for somebody.
Wrecked very often.
I mean, I still, but I think, and that's a lot of where I think I'm better at not getting wrecked by a lot of other people, because every time I get into a race car, anytime I get side by side with somebody, I'm always expecting to be wrecked.
Right.
My dad taught me that when I was a kid. He's like, look, if you expect to be wrecked when you're beside somebody, it's going to be hard to wreck you.
Yeah, I mean, you're anticipating.
Yeah, so, I've always been the type of person ever since he told me that to anticipate what's going to happen. So I think that has a lot to do with it. And I think if a lot more people started anticipating, you got to realize who you're racing. Like it's like if I'm side by side with Keyshawn Clater, I feel comfortable, okay? But if I'm side by side with Noah Hinchee in a rear wheel drive, I do not feel comfortable. So, it's kind of, that's,
That was a fair comparison.
that's a good comparison there. I mean, so you got to kind of know who you're racing. Now, Noah in a front wheel drive, he's pretty decent. But rear wheel drive, count it out. It's all
Pretty decent.
I mean, he is a champion in rear wheel drive, just to be clear.
Yeah.
I mean, he is. I missed 7 races and he beat me by 4 points.
I mean, luckily I cut the season short,
Right. Look, a win is a win. That's all.
You're
I
right,
know.
a win
I
is a
got
win.
the trophy.
That's right.
I mean, I won last week and didn't even get a picture, so I don't even feel like I won.
You
Sure
poor
story.
thing.
We'll talk
You
about
lost a
last
race
week,
and
so-
still somehow managed to win. You're sad about
Yeah.
it.
I mean,
I was
I don't
sad.
like winning like that. I really don't. But the part last weekend, man, they had me all worked up because everybody always says I cheat. I hear it all the time. Well, you cheat. You cheat. Well, the whole top 3 gets disqualified. Man, I sat there and text shit, and I said, but I'm the one illegal. And I yelled at in front of everybody, and Donna was like, come on, man, calm down. I'm like, no, everybody's always calling me out. Now y'all are getting disqualified.
Yeah.
And it's the simplest things. That's what gets me. I don't understand how they messed that up, but that's not
Yeah.
not on me. I mean, you got to think, when a rule's changed, 9 times out of 10, they're going to check both of them the first race.
Yeah. I mean, I would think so. Let's go back. You come here from Richmond.
Yep.
I mean, what is it about this place that kept you coming back?
I think
obviously
it's
the money to start with.
Well, I mean, to start with, it was a lot to do with the money, but I think just the atmosphere that's here. You feel like it's an old time racing community. You don't feel like it's the new time where everything's so strict and you got to you can't have fun. Everything's so you feel worked up all the time when you go racing at other places because of all kinds of stuff. Where here you kind of get that old time country racing. You can have fun. You can make friends. Yeah. Richmond, it's I don't know. I just don't like it there.
Yeah.
And a lot of when I first started coming out here, I told Michaela, I was like, I want to move out there. Like it's just peaceful out that way.
Yeah.
And I think that's got a lot to do with it. Having kids and living in Richmond, just it's not a safe place for them. So I mean,
I've been to Richmond before, and my car backfired, and I think they shot at me.
Yeah,
afterwards. So,
yeah. It's
know.
bad. And recently, I don't know if y'all had paid attention to the news, but they've had like 10 or 12 people that have been shot and killed in Richmond, all over gang violence. 2 kids were shot walking down the sidewalk because there was a gang member walking in front of them or something.
Jeez.
So 2 innocent kids lost their life for something that's ignorant.
Just ignorance. Yeah, that's crazy. So you're here. You live here now.
Yep.
What drives you? Stock 4. You've won everything here.
Yeah.
You're the winningest driver in the Stock 4 division ever. In 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And so what drives you to keep going? I mean, I know you're going to talk about the money, but what drives you?
No,
to keep
and
going?
before it was that, but recently I don't. I guess the happiness that comes from it. I just like winning. Seeing my little boy smile, he loves it. We went to Shenandoah last week, and my racing career is probably coming to an end soon because he saw one of them bandoleros.
Yeah.
And he told his mama, he's like, Mama, I want one of them. She's like, well, I ain't got the money to go talk to your mama or go talk to your daddy. He goes, well, get a job. I'm like, come on. But he's just, I think that he's a lot of what keeps me motivated. And then, it's something me and my dad's always done together. And recently with his passing, I can tell you there's about every single weekend I'm here. I don't know. It just doesn't feel the same. I'm not as motivated, and my outings show. Every time I get in the car, I don't feel myself. I feel like I'm missing my marks. I just feel like I'm I'm not there, and I'm hoping it comes back. But man, it's been a nightmare just losing him, because that's what he's always we've always done together. So that's what I grew up with, was him and me racing. And then when now he's gone, it just doesn't feel the same anymore. And I think that's a lot of my struggles right now. I don't know. I can't get the groove of racing right now. I just can't. I can't hit my marks. I can't do nothing right in a race car, I feel like, and it shows.
Yeah. I don't know. You look like you were hitting your marks pretty good earlier.
I mean, I agree, but then race night, I don't know what it is. I start missing my marks, and I got so much on my mind, and man, it's been a depressing year for me.
I can understand. I can understand that for sure. You mentioned earlier about the money difference, divisions. What does it cost to run stock 4?
Man, stock 4, for me, it hardly cost me anything. A tire and fuel. Because, I build the car myself, put the cage in it myself, do all the mechanical work myself. So all it costs me is parts and tires, and that's it. Yeah. But, to move up to, like, Legend, I'd love to move up to Legend. But, without sponsors that are willing to give you $4,000 or $5,000 a year, and you need 3 or 4 of them, it's not possible to move up to a Legend car. It's not possible to move up to mini stock. Yeah. You got to have that backing behind you.
Yeah, stock 4. I think you sold your winning stock 4.
Yeah, you could get into
for like $4,000.
Yeah, so. you could get into a full operation stock 4 class. For $6,000, $7,000, you could probably run the whole year.
Right.
Where like a Legend car, you're going to need $30,000 for the year.
Well, you're definitely going to need at least $20,000 to buy it.
Yeah, $20,000 to buy it, and then at least $10,000 to run it for the year.
Yeah. That's a big difference. That's a big jump.
It is.
And that's realistically here. That's the next division. So you go stock 4 and then Legends.
Yep. Which is kind of beyond. I don't understand that, because I can tell you, I've driven just about everything, and Legends are one of the hardest cars to drive.
Yeah. Oh, that's what they say.
It's no comparison. Like I've ran a mini stock here. I've run a stock 4. I've run a Legend. I haven't run a late model.
Yeah.
But the Legend car is just so hard to drive.
Right. You can see it. You can watch those guys out there on the track. Noah, you see it. Them guys are twitching through the corners, and those cars are all over the place.
Yeah, I drove one on iRacing last night.
Noah probably
I have
gets deja vu.
flashbacks of what I did over here in the Crown Vic. I spun that thing out.
That's why I just said
I
Noah
can
probably
only
gets deja vu.
I can only imagine how hard they are.
Hey, the way he wrecked that Bootlegger, if he wrecked the Legend like that, he'd be in the daggone hot fries stand over there.
At least part of him.
Yeah.
Well,
it's hard to tell whether it would be a battery or his head this time.
I would have probably been less hurt, because at least the Legend has some form of safety equipment.
They are contained for sure.
I still don't agree with that. I think a Legend's dangerous. Opening doors, both sides.
Yeah, but they open.
They open. I agree, but they're dangerous.
They have some nasty wrecks. If you go looking on YouTube they touch wheels, them things go flying.
I'd like to avoid having those here.
I don't think it's as likely to happen here as like Langley Speedway or
the layout of the track. I think they can actually race side by side. They don't have to run into each other. Whereas you go to Langley, in every division, because it's flat, you've got to basically bump a guy out of the way or whatever to pass. So, and that's in every division. So, I can totally see why it happens at places like that. And I've seen some wrecks up north with them. And just the layouts of the track, I think, make a big difference. I'm going to knock on wood, because I don't want it to happen here. So I don't want to be, talking out of turn.
You're telling me you don't want to have one flipped in the infield like the stock, what was it, stock 4 or rookie 4? That
was stock 4.
Was it stock 4?
Yeah, it was stock 4. Yeah.
That's still wild.
Yeah, that was not good, for sure. Not good at all.
I still can't figure out how it happened, but
I don't even want to. I don't even want to. I watched the video, and I probably wouldn't watch the video again. So that was not a good time.
Didn't he land over there by the white truck?
Yeah, well, in that general area, yes.
That was crazy.
Yeah,
I never even thought really, unless you break a hub on the right rear or something, that you could flip them stock fours.
I think it's the way they touched. Going back and having watched that video, I think it was the way they touched on the front straightaway, and I mean the angle in which it sent him straight down.
I mean, it just has to be like the perfect storm.
So which one do y'all think that's going to be? Do y'all think that's going to be Josh Hinchee or Noah or Keyshawn Clater?
Let's neither. I mean, but that was a good conversation.
I mean, which one do you think? Who do you think is going to end up where the white truck's at?
I don't think those two guys are done. I don't.
I don't either.
Last week with Keyshawn, I don't think they're done. What do you think, Noah? I mean, you got a little better insight than us.
I don't know. Josh don't even seem to care. Which, I mean, no offense to Keyshawn, but that's why Josh kind of thought it was funny when Keyshawn was screaming at him in victory lane. Because Josh really doesn't care, like, at all.
Yeah.
I don't know. Josh is sometimes he says he doesn't care, and you can see that he does care.
Well, it's also a little bit trolling. Like, he's egging you on a little bit. He's real good at that.
Maybe
he is real good at that. We'll give him that. For sure.
I mean, he's been doing that to me.
So do y'all think that feud spews over on the racetrack, or do y'all think it ends up in the pits?
What's going to have to spew over on the racetrack first before it ends up in the pits, I think. And I hope it don't end up in the pits. I don't condone fighting. So.
Hey, we got security guard Daddy Timmy on our team. All right.
I mean, I get that, but
that's great. No.
Keyshawn's got a lot of big people on his side too. I mean, you got Lauren; he wrestles bulls all the time. I have personally seen Lauren pick up Robbie Young and move him to the side with his bare hands.
Now, granted, that pin right there weighs as much as Robbie. Okay.
I mean, I agree with that, but I mean, he didn't struggle at all.
No,
I love it. I got a video on my phone. I ought to post it, but it's.
And then
Robbie
I hear
screaming and punching.
And I hear Adam's coming back. Isn't his name Adam Hollingsworth?
Adam Hollingsworth. Yeah,
I heard he's coming back.
Right. Yep.
So I mean, you got to think he's got him on Keyshawn's side too.
You do not want to fight him. I can go ahead and tell you that right now.
So I mean,
that will not end good for anybody. I don't care how big you are, how big and bad you think you are, or anything else. That will not end good.
Only way to know is test it.
Listen,
I mean,
somebody's got to do it.
There's been people that's done it. His fist is bigger than most people's heads. Okay, I'm just telling you, it is not. That is not a good. Listen, one night this guy was coming after me, and I felt this guy breathing down my back, and I was like, "Gosh, is there somebody walked up behind me?" I looked back at him. I got you. I'm like, "Holy crap, this is not going to end good." I'm thinking for this guy now. I'm worried about him. I'm like, he's going to get hurt.
Look, why don't we just cut to the chase, and when those wrestling dudes come, let's just get them to set up the ring in the infield, and like Josh and Keyshawn, whoever's feuding at the time, just let them go at it.
I mean, I say we take Langley's little stage over there, just put some ropes on it,
boxing
ring.
Use
that.
Give them some whole cans.
When you got people that are mad, just put them and say, "Look, y'all want to fight? Y'all go get in."
That's about the way a wrestling ring is really built. It's not very soft.
You know how much I would love to go over there and announce like Bruce Buffer at UFC.
Well, I mean, we're working on you announcing racing first. You know?
Yeah, you got to get on.
Yeah, hold on, time out.
No, you got to listen. Wes is worried about you.
I am.
Okay.
You've got to learn to stretch your conversations out. You like, hey, what happened? Oh, somebody got disqualified. Okay, have a good night.
I want to make it known. I wanted to make it known that my employer failed to tell me that until an hour before the race that I needed to talk literally every time it was quiet. I thought I was doing interviews like for Victory Lane and TikTok, and that was it.
It's always.
And he was like, "No, here's the microphone. Just keep it going all day."
My worry is, and this is my worry: you retire from racing. If this job right here doesn't work out, what are you going to do next?
Sit in the suite.
You're going to sit in the suite?
I'm going to be a plumber.
A plumber? Okay, we're not going to get into that. Y'all's last episode was pretty bad. We're not going to get into this one. Okay?
Maybe animal husbandry. I don't know. It doesn't mean what you think it does, Wes.
I didn't say a word. For you to be saying that, it must mean what you thought. I thought it meant because you are trying to correct me already. Then? I don't even know what you said. So.
We didn't understand. I didn't understand it either. What I'm like,
look, the point is we got distracted. Langley set up get some whole cans, Put the ropes up out there.
I do think you should put some ropes up and then put 2 sets of boxing gloves there.
Look, and you tell them if you fight in the infield, whatever, it's $500 fine. If you go in the ring, it's free.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen? Nobody's going to the ring, okay? Nobody. They're all scared.
To be fair, if you're trying to fight somebody over here in turn 4, you got to be real angry for a long time to walk all the way over.
Yeah.
You're like in 30 seconds.
Hey, I would have went in the ring last year with Keyshawn instead of under the tech building.
Well, yeah, I mean, I thought y'all were going to knock out right there. I mean, he made it up for you. He wrecked the hearts for you.
Yeah, I agree, but I think him and Randy. I still don't think that's over yet.
Yeah, well. I mean, is Randy racing? I
told him he can run the 422.
Yeah.
He's not having it.
Yeah.
He wants the 81 back. That car's too fast to be totaled.
I mean, Chris Meeks and Papa Rolex, they donated him to you.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So now he's yours.
They could have donated me him without the beer. I mean, that would have been a better Randy.
Listen, they didn't buy the beer, so I'm just saying. You gotta love Randy. Anybody who knows Randy Winningham, you gotta love him. I mean, except for the moments you hate him, you gotta love him.
Yeah. But you can't hate him very long.
No. I mean, although I believe you did knock him down in the dirt over here,
Well, I mean, we're not going to go there. It was kind of the concrete floor, but we won't go there.
Concrete floor, dirt.
Yeah, dirt. It don't matter.
I thought he was going to have to fight old what's-his-face's wife, Inman. That was so funny.
That'd have been a good fight.
I was sitting there commentating that live. I was like, Randy, here she comes. She's coming. He was trying to act like he didn't care. It was hilarious.
He was about to get hurt.
It would have been a good fight.
For her.
Either way. See what I'm saying? You want me to commentate on racing. Do you think if that fight is going on, anybody's paying attention to the race that's on the track?
Well, I mean, it's okay to commentate on the fight, too. I mean, you gotta
commentate on it all.
as it comes.
From the stands, if they can't see his facial hair, they're going to be like, this lady's beating up his poor kid down here. Somebody needs to stop her.
Speaking of poor kids, okay? Good question for you. So if your brother, Josh, and Keyshawn get into a fight, who's going to win? One-on-one, mano-a-mano, who's going to win?
No offense, but my brother going to wear that ass out.
That's what I said.
No cap.
I'm just saying. What's your opinion, Wes? He don't even want to offer his opinion over here. He's been mouthy all day.
Look, my brother's had plenty of experience. I watch my brother Josh and my brother Zach fight each other over a cup of lemonade one time.
I mean, I've got mixed emotions on it. I mean, it could go either way. I do think Josh has the upper hand. I will say that. I think Keyshawn's kind of done some things where I'm like, what?
He's a little wiry though. You never know.
But then like last week, now if you asked me last week who was going to win that fight, I'd have told you Keyshawn because he come out the car. I mean, he went running around the car. He was trying to get back there to Josh. Everybody holding him back. I was like, hold on, where this side of Keyshawn come from? Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think I'd love to watch. So I hope it spews over.
We're going to use Wes is going to be special referee.
Hey, I'm there. Usually I'm the one in these situations.
Yeah, there you go.
Usually I'm the one in that situation.
Jesus. We'll say Keyshawn did not show that same emotion when the Hearts come looking for him last year.
He said, who's driving that car? Keyshawn said he went that way.
But let's be real. I mean, that's kind of like, when Chris and all of them were coming looking for me. I mean, when you got 7 people looking at you and it's only you. I'm with you. That's just stupid.
I probably lied too.
I mean, you don't be stupid. I mean, there comes a time where you stand up like a man, and there comes a time where you just stand down.
I'm not gonna lie, it was hilarious. Keyshawn just pulled to the pits, gets out the car, and then you see a whole family walking at you.
I know.
Walking all the way.
They were marching with a purpose.
I mean, they were marching, and then hey, I know y'all had to have seen that picture with Timmy and what was the boy? Hart. Which one drove the orange car?
I don't know which one that was. I think that was one of the other guys.
No. That drove the orange car that I always got into it with?
It's a good thing I unplugged
The shark teeth car.
You know which one I'm talking about?
The one with the shark teeth.
Yeah. Trevor, yeah.
That's Trevor.
I know y'all had to have seen the picture of Trevor, turning around, balled his fist up like he was going to punch somebody, turn around, and all you see is him standing there, sitting there staring at Timmy, and he was like, uh-oh.
Timmy's not exactly somebody you want to turn around and see in a fight. I mean, let's be real here.
He said, "Who's grabbing?"
I think it was Timmy and JC, won't it?
Yeah, I don't want to see him in a fight either. He's quiet, and he's too quiet because he's going to hurt you. That's what's going to happen.
Both of them, and he turns around and sees them. I think he about had a heart attack by the pitcher.
Yeah, he thought he was coming to fight.
Sharon's pictures of that were fantastic.
Oh, they were
you see
great.
the anger in his face, and then the next picture is him turned around. He looks a lot more calm.
Oh, he's a lot more calm. No, he looked like he just saw a ghost. I mean, he looked up and saw Casper, okay? Huh?
You got to find
Oh,
him.
you've got to go look at him.
You see Timmy going in to grab him, and then the next picture, it's just like he's just looking at him with the straight
Yeah, well,
face.
there's three pictures. There's one of Timmy walking up behind him as he balled his fist up and he grabbed him. And then you could see there's another picture where she caught it from a different angle where he was mad and balled his fist up, went to turn around, and he got a halfway turn around. And then there's a picture of him turning around looking at Timmy, and he looked like he saw Casper.
Oh, I saw it live. He cocked his arm back when he turned around like he was ready to swing then. And then he didn't.
No.
Good Lord. Oh man. Yeah, I'm not fighting Timmy. I can tell you that right now.
No, I mean,
all
three of
Tim and
them.
Adam Hollingsworth, I'm not fighting.
I could have seen all three of them get knocked out.
I wonder if Timmy would mind me telling about how he's on True TV's Dumbest Criminals. He's on True TV's Dumbest Criminals because on Black Friday, to Best Buy, he beat the shit out of a guy with a flashlight.
No, he didn't.
It's on. You gotta look it up. It's on YouTube. It's like True TV Dumbest Criminals Black Friday, and it's just him and Daryl walking in the Best Buy. And somebody shoves him, and then he just starts going at him with the flashlight. Man, he was famous out of that on True TV. Joe Coy was commentating on it.
Golly.
I don't know where we
He's probably gonna be mad that
He is definitely
I outed him.
Hey,
It was on TV.
He's definitely gonna be mad because there's gonna be people looking that up. That it's gonna be the most popular thing
He's
this
gonna have
week.
fans this weekend.
Yeah.
Can I take a picture? Will you sign this?
Can you sign this newspaper?
It's gonna be
people gonna go back and find the newspaper.
somebody's gonna bring a flashlight. Will you sign this for me?
I feel like Timmy may kill you.
Oh, he is definitely gonna kill him. 100%. 100%.
Oh Lord.
Well, hopefully they get a picture of that one so we can see Casper that goes number 2.
Can we get you and Timmy in the ring here?
Yeah, I'll get in with him. I don't care.
You will.
I know which knee is bad, so that's what I'm going at first.
Jeez, don't give away all of the secrets, okay?
I'm gonna hit him with that Nate Diaz Stockton slap. Bam!
Lord. Jesus. Oh man. All right. True TV. Well,
I'm gonna have to look that up tonight.
I'm gonna look it up here in just a minute. I
Yeah.
wanted to look it up right here on the air, but we don't have good enough internet.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna look that up.
Oh my God, they won't let me put fiber in here, so I can't look it up. Jesus, let's go somewhere else. Legends car. Okay. You've got 2 races in. 2 races in the Legends car. I think you finished 6th the first race here. You were up there wrecking people in the back at Shenandoah, but tell us about driving those things. You already said they're hard to drive, but tell us, what you've got to do to get better in one of those cars.
Maybe a different setup. I think I've kind of figured them out. I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm getting close, but I think I've got to find a car that sticks a little better, or find out a way to make the car stick a little better to where I can get a little better. Because with the car the way it is right now, it's like you're just on ice. You have no.
I would
no
think that
grip.
would be the way you would want to drive it.
I mean,
I watch you in the stock 4. That's what it looks like.
I'm telling you, whenever those cars get loose, it's a different type of free.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought
Makes
driving a dirt late
longer.
model. I thought driving a dirt late model, that car, if you can drive a Legend, you can drive a dirt late model.
Yeah. Huh. I mean, those things look like fun. I mean, like I said, we're gonna get Noah in one before he officially retires.
I feel bad for the person that lets me drive theirs. I mean, hold on. Well, first off, am I even gonna fit in the door? That's question number one.
I mean, that's a good question. I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't think I will.
Think you will. I mean, I don't know.
But we'll see.
That's another subject. I mean, you did have to cut the hole in the stock 4. You'd have cut the window down. I mean, the window on the 81 over here. That dang thing.
Look. Yeah, Jaden does not like that window.
I don't like it either.
You can see Jaden's ribs in there when he's in there.
Look, to be fair, it's the only time I've been upset at Daryl when he's working on my car. I told him it's got the thing where the window was, and when you climb over in the car, it pokes you in the butt and it hurts. So I said, can we just roll that little spot over? Because that's what everybody does. They roll it over where it's smooth. I come back 5 minutes later, my door's hacked in half. I was like, Daryl, what did you do, man? And then when they were setting that car up for me, when I totaled mine, they were like, this is how he likes it. I was like, not at all, but thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
They were trying to give you a little room there, bud.
I mean, it was easier to get in, but I'd rather it look better.
I mean, I could crawl in that window. I mean, geez.
And if there's really an emergency, I'm going to get my fat butt out of that thing real quick.
You wouldn't be able to get out in a hurry. I mean, Jaden could just fall out, so,
But the Legend car is a lot of fun, and I wouldn't even have that chance to even get in one without Nathan. So I got to thank him.
He's hitting all of his sponsors and Keyshawn's today.
Roanoke's Homes and Renovations for even putting me in that car to even give me the chance to go out there and show people what I could do in that car.
For sure. I mean, and I think the Legends guys, I seen, Stephen Troll's post after the first race here, and he was talking about how, one of the local heroes was in, the division. I think they like having you in the division.
Yeah.
They like,
Well, I was racing against Sam's, and I think they were, at first he was like, I was kind of scared to race against you because I didn't know, I know what class you came from, and I know, but then after that he was like, I found out you could actually drive. From racing side by side, not hitting each other.
I mean, you only passed him 412 times.
I agree with that, but
unfortunately, scoring.
Scoring kept putting me behind him, and behind him, and behind him.
Scoring.
I'm telling you, I passed him on
lap.
A realistic number, probably 7 times.
Yeah, I was going to say 8 times. So it was a lot. To be honest with you, I was about to tell him, just leave him in front of him because I'm tired of watching him. But eventually he's going to wreck him if you keep putting him behind him.
100%. Yeah, I think I'm going to, if Nathan, I don't know if I'm going to keep driving that car or if Ryan's going to come back. I'm not sure. But if Ryan comes back, I think I'm going to try to gather me up some sponsors to go get me one.
Well, I mean, with your pedigree here, you ought to be able to get sponsors pretty easy.
I agree. I haven't tried yet, but I'm going to try soon.
I mean, you're already working on stealing Keyshawn, so,
I mean, he doesn't thank his sponsors, so, I got to do it for him,
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I mean, he missed that part, but I'm sure he'll hear it.
Yeah, well, you got to teach him. Keyshawn's learning.
I mean, he's young,
he's new.
Yeah, he is new.
Yeah, he's only been racing for 13 years. He's new.
Yeah, 13 years.
I mean, he completed his first lap this year, so,
in a real car.
Yeah, in a real car. Jeez. Well, outside of that, what's next? I mean, do you want to continue to move up? I mean, are you looking to go late model racing? You want to run a mini stock? What do you?
Man, late models just don't interest me.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know if it's just the way they just. I don't know. I feel like we all know that the better car always wins, 9 times out of 10.
Typically, but
yeah.
I mean, typically the better driver is in the better car.
I mean, I agree to
guys who win are like Kyle
extent.
Dudley and Jimmy Mullins, and extremely good race car drivers. Not just here, but everywhere.
No, I agree with that, but I'm just saying, I don't know. I just feel like you've got to have a lot of money, and really, I mean, I don't by watching them, you don't really feel like they're out there driving them.
I mean, that's an interesting take on it. I don't know that Tyler Ashley would agree with you because I think he's having to drive the crap out of his car.
I mean, I could see Tyler Ashley driving the crap and spinning the crap out of every car he drives, but
go watch a video. Go watch a video of Mike Looney in the car tour race here last time. He was wheeling that thing.
Oh yeah, 100%.
He's running up over the.
I mean, maybe it's just because there's not a lot of cars out there in Lake right now, and I think that's kind of I don't know, defeats the purpose of going to that class because I'm not going to go out there and race 3 people. I mean,
one thing for sure, Legends has got.
Yeah,
it's probably going to have the best car count most of the year.
Yeah,
not every race, but most of the year. And competition-wise, I don't know that you can find Stock 4 is close in having tight competition from start to finish in the field. I mean, you done got your rivalry going in the Legends, so let's see how that works out.
We'll see how it goes.
I
mean, that didn't start here. That started in Shenandoah, but
we'll see how it goes.
I mean,
what'd you do, buddy?
I didn't do nothing. I wish there was a video.
Famous words. I didn't do nothing.
It's okay.
I didn't do nothing. I didn't tell Keyshawn nothing. It just happened.
Nothing.
I mean, I didn't. I've already told y'all. I told Keyshawn to go out there and slow him down. I didn't tell Keyshawn to go out there and wreck him.
I mean, that's what he said.
I mean, that's what I told him to do. I mean, but anytime you're in an enduro car, I mean, expect to be wrecked.
I mean, how better to slow him down than to put him in the wall?
I mean that's what I mean. I agree. Now. If you ask me if I disagreed with what Keyshawn did, no, I didn't. Not at all.
Of course you did.
But I didn't tell him to do it. I just told him to slow him down.
I mean, were you going to win without that move?
Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that.
You avoided the question, sir. What happened?
Well, I qualified either 4th or 5th. I can't remember. But I practiced. I ran 6th, I think, right behind Nathan. Made a few adjustments, went out there and qualified 4th or 5th. Then I went in the corner of the first or second lap, and lost all brake. Brake pedal went to the floor. About wiped the car out that time. Came in, fixed the brakes, made it out there for the second race, and me in the 16, 12.
Phil Smith would be the 16.
Yeah. Is that who it is?
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming you.
Me and Phil, when they threw the green flag, I went up the outside lane because nobody was going out there. Well, then they black flagged me, I guess, because they wanted me to start last. So I dropped to the rear. They stopped black flagging me. I went to go move forward. Got to the inside of him, going down the front stretch. He run me all the way on the apron. Clean on the apron.
Yeah.
I passed him. Went down the next corner, and it was like I was sitting there watching him in the mirror. It's just like he just lost all talent and just drove into me.
Maybe he needed that spot.
I mean, we were racing for last. I'm going to tell you, if I'm racing for last and you're in front of me, I'm not just going to drive down there and take you out. There's no point.
Yeah, I've had my car totaled racing for last one time.
even if you chop me completely off, I'm going to hit the brakes and let you go because I'm not going to be that idiot that everybody talks about that wrecks somebody for last.
Yeah. You just get wrecked for last.
I mean, I did get wrecked for last.
Okay. Yeah. This year, we're going to do changing, any car. I mean, we're still going to run any car, but we're going to do things a little bit differently during the Nights of Destruction, the 4-cylinder enduro. Mm-hmm. What's your take on that division, that idea?
My take is I need to fix my Honda Civic Si.
That thing's too fast. I wouldn't fix it.
I mean, it's 4-cylinder enduro, dude.
I mean, I understand. I mean, that will.
I feel like the ball was just put in my court.
Yeah. That car will be the reason for rule changes, probably.
I mean, I agree.
Currently the rules are pretty open.
I've talked to you about this before, and I even told you before. I think you need to put a horsepower rule on the enduros, but you haven't done it. I mean, I was trying to narrow myself out of being able to have the faster car.
I mean, in fairness, that is exactly what you told me last year. I said, man, what I got to do to get these Indy cars better? And he's like, oh, they're just too fast. You got too fast cars out there. Okay. Well, get a horsepower rule. Well, then your car wouldn't fit in it. Well, I'll sell my car. I'm like,
okay. When somebody asks me a question, I'm going to give you my honest opinion, whether it counts me out or not, because 9 times out of 10, I know I can outdrive anybody out here on this racetrack.
I mean, is there
in a stock car?
Is there anybody that you've wrecked here by accident, since you're being honest?
Anybody I've wrecked by accident?
Yeah. I mean, we know you wrecked
Chris Meeks was not an accident.
Yeah, we know. John Morton.
John Morton, not an
What
accident.
about that one time with Austin up there in 3? Was that an accident?
Austin. What happened with
Where
Austin?
he kind of got him up into the wall.
That was an accident.
Well, Austin wrecked himself. I wouldn't even classify that as an accident.
I mean, Austin came up.
Yeah.
I mean, that was kind of a racing deal. I mean, I probably could have lifted a little earlier. He probably could have not came up. That was an accident. If y'all want to call out any more, I'll tell you accident or not.
What about the one time down here in the push race that you wrecked 2 guys at once?
That was not an accident.
Yeah, I didn't think it was.
I mean, hey, I'll be honest with you. When I wreck somebody, I'll tell you, hey, I wrecked them.
I think there was some trickery afoot in that race.
You do?
There was one of them cars that was
know.
the lead car.
I got a question for you,
kept
Noah.
separating from the push car, and then they come back together.
That guy that wrecked you in the bootlegger coming out of 3, do you think he did that by accident or on purpose?
Oh, Keyshawn, yeah.
No, the guy that did it when you wrecked Timmy's car.
Yeah, Keyshawn.
Oh, he wasn't even here that night. Oh, it was still okay. But do you think it was an accident or on
He was
purpose?
there. I seen it.
So it was on purpose?
Yeah.
Or something.
I saw a vision. He popped into my head. Blinded me for a
He
minute.
shot the tire, remember?
He had one of them voodoo dolls, and he was yanking my hand, so I couldn't hold on to the wheel.
In voodoo where you rip their arm off and they're supposed to lose their arm?
Yeah. Where you stab them and they feel it.
Yeah. That's the
what he did.
stupidest thing I've ever heard in
Stabbed me
my
in my
life.
hand, and I let go of the wheel and just,
It was all she wrote from there.
Yep.
No, but I think if you actually put a horsepower rule on the Enduros, I think you would get a lot more people,
Yep.
and I think it would be a lot better racing.
I mean, the downside to that, that's fine. It's a good idea. The downside, and my thinking is, well, that just eliminates somebody. Man, if I got a car sitting in my backyard, well, dang, it's 5 horsepower more than the roll.
I mean,
Well, you just eliminated that guy because he's probably not going to go find another car.
I think then this is me being honest with you, I think you need to make it like 190. That would take my SI out of the equation, and not many more 4-cylinders are that fast or have that much horsepower. So, I mean, I think there's a limit to where you can go too far or you can't go far enough.
We'll see what happens June 29th. First race for 4-cylinder endos. Pace 1,000 win. I know you'll be out there with 37 cars.
I'll be out there probably 3 because there's 3 drivers. There's 2 drivers that I think that could actually win a race that could run just like me.
Randy Winningham.
No.
Negative.
Negative.
It's so nice of you to put
And
me in the
they're
car
both
again.
sitting behind me right now.
Yeah.
That'd be Jaden Austin and Keyshawn Clater.
Yeah. I mean, Keyshawn has proven that he's a good teammate. So.
Keyshawn's a good teammate and he can drive, and a lot of people don't give Jaden the credit that he deserves because he's come a long way.
Well, it takes a while to get the accolades, from people, but.
I mean, I've raced against him, and there was a couple of times where he beat me where I feel like he should.
You let him win last?
I mean, hey, people say that, but I mean, I don't let nobody win. I can't do it. I just can't do it. People can say I let him win, but all you do is you take. I don't know. I feel like you take people's pride away of actually winning because, I mean, he just straight out outdrove me, and I'll be honest with you.
It's not many people have straight out outdrove you here.
No, I agree.
I mean, for sure. Speaking of driving and out driving, tell us about last year, Stock 6. I guess, you both were in Stock 6 because classes were combined there. I was sitting here thinking, you and Joey Scott, what happened there?
I think that boils back to, and I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't get into this one because that can get a little dirty. I think it boils back into where him and Inman were best buddies, and then me and Inman had a problem back when whenever I wrecked Chris Meeks in the IndyCar. I think that's where that whole rivalry started because I don't know whether Chris told him to go out there and block me or wreck me or whatever. I know he said he didn't, but you don't know what was told. I mean, that's like. Yeah. Anything else, you don't know what was actually said. So, but when they all tried to wreck me, and I remember catching him off a 4, he tried to wreck me 2 times before that, and then I told myself, I said, if he tries to wreck me again, I'm stuffing him in the wall. And I was sitting there looking, I picked a place. I said, well, pit road wall looks good. Well, I come back around, and he was doing the same thing, so I went into turn 3, and I sent it down in there, went up high to where I knew I could get a run on him on exit, and I caught him in the left rear and sent him right head on in the wall. And I think that was the start of that one. And then I think Joey Scott just kind of got involved because they were friends or whatnot. And then I think there was a time where it started with Joey real bad was over here where he thought I brake checked him.
You say he thought that you broke and you brake checked or whatever. I mean, what really happened? Did you?
I can put my hand on my kids' lives, and everybody knows my kids mean the world to me. I did nothing wrong. I come out the corner, the car just shut off, and it did start back up, and it'll shut off and start back up. But it's always done that since I put that car together. If it gets to a quarter tank of gas, I don't know if because you roll off in the corner, maybe the fuel pump's on the left side,
right?
So it's sucking air. But you get on the straightaway and the car's fine. Well, I mean, I don't understand what he was mad about because if he was a driver, he should have just went around me.
I don't know.
He has a steering wheel.
Who would brake check somebody when you got a 4-car length lead on them?
I've wondered the same thing.
And you just look in the mirror, you're like, let me just jam the brakes.
I'm bored up here. Let me wreck somebody.
I mean, I played video games.
I get a video game, but I mean, if they really think that I was that good to just sit here and say, hey, I don't like this guy, I'm going to wreck him, I'll lock the brakes up in front of him. It's just ignorant.
I mean, honestly, I didn't know what happened that night. I thought maybe you did, to be honest with you. Not that you, I thought maybe you broke and then you looked up in the mirror and said, hey, I got him.
I mean, I'm going to tell you, right anybody, when I wrecked Chris Meeks and you walked over there and asked me what the hell happened, what'd I tell you?
I think I said a few other words with it.
Yeah, but what did I tell you? Was I honest with you?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
All right. I mean, goes back to, who else have I wrecked?
Everybody.
Morton, you asked me, what are you doing? Well, he got what he desered. There's never been a time.
He was too fast. He passed me. I got to wreck him.
You call it how you want it.
I'm just saying.
I mean, I got into him. Anybody that races against me knows that if you're beating me, I will literally push that car past its limit, and I will risk losing it
and into his
just to beat
limit.
You. I will push a car
after the race.
I will push a car way past its limit. I mean, you can tell by how hard I drive down in the corner. I will make sure I'm pushing that car as far as I can push it, and that's what happened. I mean, he got by me. I saw my wind creeping away, and I said, well, here's my chance. I'm burying it down in there. See if it sticks, and it didn't stick. And then, I mean, I blame Trey for that because I would have never hit him head on if it weren't for Trey.
Yeah, well, Trey.
So,
Jesus.
I put that blame on Trey. He just, he was sitting there, and I mean, I was like, hey, this is great. Just, I was like, that's great.
Hey, Trey was like counting on. He said, you tell Mr. Dennett, Ricky Bobby's my friend.
Jesus.
He shook him, and I baked him.
Yeah, for sure. Josh Brown, you wrecked him after the race. What happened there? I mean, he didn't do anything wrong.
I spun him out.
He raced you hard.
I spun him out.
For what?
I mean, I told you. Sometimes I just get irritated. I'm very easily irritated. I don't like losing. I mean, look, I'm going to tell you right now, okay? If you're okay with losing, then you suck.
I mean, I'm with you.
I mean, point blank straight up. If you're okay with losing, you are not a real racer.
Well, I mean,
so if you're not okay,
people lose every week. So,
I mean, I get that, but if you are okay with it, you're not a racer.
So if you're not okay with it, what you should do is go find the winner after the checkered flag and just dump him.
Yep, there you go. That's what Wes is telling you right here. If you finish 14th in the race, just keep going. Hammer down.
You dump him right in front of a field of 14 cars coming straight at him.
I dumped him out of the groove. Don't even start.
Yeah, you drove him all the way up to the wall before you wrecked him. So,
I mean, I could have just drove him straight in the wall.
Look, there's some people out here that would have figured out how to hit him. I mean, somebody whose car you got down there now. He probably would have slammed right into him if the opportunity was there.
Jesus, man.
Golly. The fact that you're still talking about this man after he's done moved, 20 hours away, is beyond me.
He's still butthurt.
He is still in your head.
Daryl.
He's still butthurt because his houseman about whipped up on his brother down here on Pit Road. That's all I'm saying. That's what he's butthurt about.
I ain't butthurt about houseman.
I'm just saying.
I ain't worried about no hazard. Look, I'm trying to.
He still hates Will because of that.
I got 300 thoughts running through my mind, and none of them are appropriate.
He tore his own car up as Will spun. Just saying. And then they went and tried to fight Tony.
Oh, were you talking about over here in turn 1?
No, down here when I was in the Escort, and Will spun himself out with nobody around. Like
I thought we were talking about the time Will spun out over here, and you just decided you were going to run into him.
I couldn't see past Josh Brown's fat head.
I mean,
I didn't notice there was a car sitting sideways until he swerved all of a sudden. I was like, well, nowhere to go now.
Raise your seat up next time.
Well, I have to be down low or else my gut's on the steering wheel.
Okay. Move your steering wheel.
I'm sitting in the floorboard.
Move your steering wheel. Do something. I mean, you blame this man for running out of talent, but I mean that was just
the one down here. He spun, and I tried to go around him, and then he shot up the track because, I mean, you're spinning. Hit the brakes, but he just lets it spin. Lets go the wheel. Just no brakes, no nothing. He just drove up, and I hit him. And it ripped the whole strut and everything out of the.
He's gonna hate this guy for the rest of his life.
100%.
I'm glad he's gone.
I mean, you've had problems.
I hope his daddy buys him a nice new late model and he totals that thing.
Altice done wrecked you because he got you a little sideways and you couldn't hold on to it.
I mean, that is true.
Then Josh Brown ripped your front end off. That was his fault too. Nothing's your fault, is it?
I never blamed Josh Brown for that. I blame the other doofus for trying to spin me when we're fighting for last place.
Well, he didn't know you were going to stop in front of him, okay? He had no idea.
Yeah, look at that gate.
Hey, listen.
That gate freaks me out, all right? I looked over my shoulder and I saw that gate coming right towards me.
Listen, if you were running for last place and you looked up and you saw him in your mirror, why didn't you just let him go? I just told you I'm not going to be that guy that's wrecking for last. I didn't know
that he was that much faster than me. He never bumped me to let me know, hey, I'm faster than you, move.
He did bump you.
Because I would have.
He
did bump you.
You just lost control after.
Oh, yeah, he bumped me and then continued to turn right and he hit the gas.
It was time to go, man. It's time to go, bud.
He could have just gave me a bump and been like, hey, I'm here. Just being, polite about it. Especially after I, could have beat him up 100 times. Because he's the slowest car I've ever seen on a restart in my life.
Hey, he beat your brother last week. Don't say that.
Well, on a technicality because he got DQ'd?
He still finished, what, second or third?
Even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
Third, yeah. Yeah, he finished third.
I mean, hell, Josh Brown beat you in a race.
Coming, so he's going to podium me more often.
Does he have a Cavalier coming for real?
Yeah.
Push rod or Ecotec?
Ecotec.
Okay.
I mean, same thing everybody's buying. Keyshawn couldn't run with anybody, in his, I don't even know what the hell that thing was.
I think it was a Toyota Celica, if I'm not mistaken.
And he had to get him a Cavalier.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he looked pretty good last race.
He still hasn't won, by the way.
I mean,
he didn't get the Cavalier, but
I mean, I got that, but
hey, Keyshawn guaranteed to win.
He did guarantee to win last weekend, and he did not win, so he's already wrong.
Okay. I mean, then it carries over.
Hold on, he's already guaranteeing wins?
Yeah, last week on the podcast, he guaranteed that he would win this past Saturday.
Wow.
Mother Nature did.
So he's already counting me out.
So, well.
Look, he done flipped the switch in Wes's head already.
It's going down up here.
If you do win, you better watch out for Wes in the mirror.
And he's already got Jaden fired up because he said Jaden may beat me once or twice. He's got him fired up. Keyshawn's making enemies everywhere he goes, man.
My thing is, this is for Keyshawn. I mean, he might beat him once or twice. First race, already one down. It's not looking too good for Keyshawn right now. Once or twice.
In the backup car, by the way.
I mean, in a backup car, an automatic at that.
Automatic, yes.
Automatic at that.
100%. You talked about how fast your car was earlier. Mm-hmm. Hopefully we race Sunday.
It was pretty slow, I'm not going to lie. It was.
Yeah.
Didn't feel too fast.
Who's going to win this weekend? Hinchee's been really fast. Josh, Hinchee's been really fast. Keyshawn's fast.
Hinchee's fast. He's got to learn a little bit of racecraft. He's got to learn that, there's a time to push and a time not to push. And I'm not going to tell him when's to push and when's not to. But
you don't want to help him out because
he run his tire off, so he should be looking at that and trying to figure out where he can better that situation.
Well, he had to come from behind in that race. Too,
I agree.
you know,
I agree.
I mean, same as you would have if had your motor not laid down.
Yeah.
You had to start last. You know, the winner starts last. Jaden's got to start last.
Yeah.
You know, whenever we race again.
Yeah.
I like that rule. You like that rule?
It's not bad. I think it it allows other people to win. I do agree with that because, I mean, with everybody in Cavaliers, it's hard to pass.
I mean, new Stock 4 rules this year. You know, what's your thoughts on them?
I think once we work all the bugs out, I don't.
What are the bugs?
Figuring out where to put your lead, how to make the car stick, where to put the lead to make your car work, where to put the lead to make your tire last. I think there's a lot of, unfigured stuff out for us right now. And I thought I had it figured out, but I was way off.
You said your car was pretty fast earlier. Where'd you put the weight so everybody else?
I haven't moved nothing in my car.
So you had it right to start with.
I mean, I wouldn't say right. The car still doesn't feel great, but I think a few more movements of the lead, and I think I'll have it where I need it.
Hey, don't worry if it's a secret. He'll do it right here on the front stretch in front of everybody on race day.
Only one I want people to see.
I mean, he's still holding a grudge for that.
I know. He always does.
I mean, we're talking about when...
I'm working real hard.
We're talking about a retired
PG
guy.
Right
Working real hard to what?
I'm trying to be PG. I keep hesitating because I'm about to just start letting them fly.
I'm wondering where your beer's at.
Yeah, what happened?
Look, I'm a nice, I try not to drink during the week.
So who said something to you?
Nobody.
Somebody did. I can already see that smirk in your face. Somebody just told
Look,
you,
it's
no,
hard, it's hard to get up in the morning.
You're a bad influence.
When you done drink a 12-pack and you got to go to work.
I mean, as ladies we're recording tonight, it's going to be hard for you to get up anyway.
It always is.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
The beer doesn't help.
All right. Anything you thought we'd ask you about? That I try to ask everybody this because there may be something that we haven't.
No, I think I want to say I'm probably going to be renting cars out here soon, stock force.
Yeah. I'm going to advertise.
You managed to get a bunch of cars. Yeah, well, he come on here to advertise.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if I'm on here, I'm not like Keyshawn,
He just gave
I'm gonna shout a few sponsors out that helps me, and then
you haven't mentioned Beards and Shears one time.
I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet.
That car for half a season.
Hey, I'm not done yet. I mean, am I off yet?
Yeah, but go ahead, tell us about your rental deal.
So I think I bought a couple cars from Langley because he was trying to get rid of everything. He told me he told me he was selling everything. So I just figured I would buy them, fix them up, and maybe rent them out. I'm not sure of a number yet, but I'm gonna put a crash clause on them where if you wreck it, you don't get your deposit back.
Right.
And then go from there. See how it works out. If it doesn't work out, then I'll just sell them.
So basically, you're saying if you're interested in driving a stock Ford, don't want to go spend all the money to build one time and all that, you can come rent one and try it out.
Try it out.
Got any fast cars? Are they all slow? What are they?
I bought Will Stevens. Will Stevens. I bought his Eclipse. That car.
It's a fast car.
That car won what, twice?
I think so. Yep.
Yeah. Everybody says it didn't win 2 stock 4 races, but I swear it did.
All I remember is that one winning a rookie.
For sure last year.
Yeah. I know it won 2, but I think one was disqualified for tires or something.
I mean, that's very possible.
So I got that car. I got a Neon. I'm probably going to have a couple more before the year's out, I hope.
Yeah. Gotcha. I mean, what if they want to rent the car that you're racing?
Do what?
I mean, I'm just saying. Listen,
the right money, everything's for rent.
I mean, if I'm coming here and I'm like, man, I'm going to show what I got. Well, I'm going to rent the fastest car here. So either I got to go talk to Josh Hinchee or I got to come talk to you. Well, the other.
Well, if somebody comes
and
somebody comes and asks me, I'll deal with it then.
Car, so,
If somebody comes and asks me, I'll deal with it then.
If you want to rent a car, call 1-800 Checkers or Wreckers.
I'm going to tell you, if you come out here the first time and you want to rent a car and you say you want to rent mine, I'm going to tell you no. Yeah. Now, if you come out here and you run the Neon first and then you rent the Eclipse next week and you're doing pretty good, I'll probably think about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got some other Cavaliers, too. You just don't have them ready yet.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And hopefully I'll have a Cobalt in the next
All right, since you didn't mention Beards and Shears, I'll give you the opportunity to mention your sponsors here.
Yeah, I got to thank Beards and Shears for always, looking out for me no matter what. Timmy with Hex Haunted Attractions, and Roanoke's Homes and Renovations. That's all I got right now. Anybody wants to come on board, just shoot me a message.
I mean, don't forget Keyshawn's sponsor.
Yeah, and Yoder Custom Meat Processing.
Maggard Insurance.
Maggard Insurance. I did forget that one. See, I'm glad I got some help.
There you go. All right. Well, I guess we're going to wrap this thing up because I got to get on YouTube and find this video.
Yeah, I do too. I'm 100% going to look there.
That's the first thing we're doing.
And don't forget, you got to look up them pictures from Hart.
Yeah, I need to see them too. I haven't seen them, but I'm more interested in this video.
I am too. I can't wait to see this.
Hopefully, Noah's dialing it up right now.
All
right, guys, that'll do it for this week's Pit Chatter podcast. We appreciate you listening in, and hopefully we'll see you this Sunday for some racing action in the Pepsi Kids Gold Rush.